I will say this, that I've never discussed this in an interview before.
Clarita de Quiroz, who is a singer, model, and also owns a hotel in Thailand.
Before the singing and the modelling, I was actually in an engineering environment.
You've had a #1 album in the UAE.
3. And then that led to like doing performances, like I ended up supporting Elton John, performing for the royal family. Then I took a 10-year break, but nobody told me the dangers of taking this. You take for granted all these beautiful things you've done. Like now I'm just realising what I did. I had no idea.
He misses out the part where you need to work really hard for really long and be quite sad about it.
When I first came to Dubai, there's things that people just don't know about me. I was thinking, am I crazy or are they lazy?
Both probably.
I mean, everything I've done is good. It's really good. But again, it would never have continued if I hadn't resolved that issue.
Yeah.
So with these celebrities that you would always meet, they would always want to date you.
Yeah.
They would always want, like, I'm not going to mention the big names, but they
Go
would
on,
like,
give us some of them. From the outside looking in, your life is like a young girl's dream. Like modelling, singing, on stage, TV, all that. Like, is it all it's made up to be?
yes and no. I call it, it's all about the D's. I don't think I've spoken about this. No, I've never.
Welcome to the show where we talk to successful people about the bits you don't see. Today we're talking to Clarita de Quiroz, who is a singer, model, and also owns a hotel in Thailand, amongst some other things that we're going to talk about today. So great to have you today. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm really good today. So thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
Oh, good. So yeah, tell me about it. You've got, I think I've even missed things in the introduction that you've got going on. Talk to me about your life. What have you got going on?
I've got too much going on in my life, which I've just discovered the last 2 weeks. I think I'm doing too much. Oh my gosh, my accent's totally changed. Speaking to you.
Yeah, more Scottish.
I know, I'm actually Scottish, but I'm going to try and keep my real accent. So, so I started off actually before the singing and the modelling. I was actually in an engineering environment.
Oh, wow.
So after my master's degree in Scotland in economics, I went into wood group engineering, northeast of
Oh,
Scotland.
wow.
Yeah.
So my business partner that I set up my glamping sites with worked for them.
No way.
Yeah, so he made his money on the rigs and then invested in my first glamping site.
Yeah, so I was a project controls engineer for
Right.
2 years, and then I was modelling part-time, and then decided I was a little bit too serious and went into modelling full-time, then music. But on the side of that, I was always into like business and trying to make money and save money. So even when in Scotland you have your hires. I don't think it's called something else now,
I was
right?
one of the last ones to do hires, I think,
Yeah.
and then it changed to something else.
So you're supposed to do 5th year and 6th year. I only did 5th. I crammed, I think, 7 in 1 year. I did 5 hires and I did 2 A levels.
Wow.
So at the same time, so I could take 6th year off.
Yeah.
And I used that year to work in wood group engineering.
Right.
So I ended up saving not a lot. Well, back then it was a lot of money.
For your age, you would do that.
Yeah, it was loads. And I was just such a different, I think I don't know why, I ended up putting in a fixed rate bond with Northern Rock. I can't believe I can still remember that.
Yeah.
And that actually I actually paid for my own university. And that, I think, gave me my first sense of business acumen and encouragement that I could actually do things on my own. So I think that's also a testament to my father to show us, if you want to do something, you're gonna have to work for it. And that's kind of stuck with me. So then I moved to Dubai, and then I was a model, and nobody really knew that I was a musician. And so I was doing that part-time, ended up being a full-time musician while still having properties as well. The properties came from saving from university and things like that. And then just recently, in 2013-14, I opened up a company called Groove Master Entertainment. So we provided all the entertainment to like Pizza Express, ITP, Motivate. We did the Rugby Sevens. We did quite a lot.
Wow.
And that just got too much for me because being an artist in itself is literally, it's tough. It's a full-time job and it was getting in the way. So I came out of that. Then COVID hit as well. And then I did all the music and all that in between. And met this man called Mark Gregg, who's my partner, and he and I decided to co-invest in this. It was a boutique hotel in Thailand, and it was also operating as a hotel. We completely gutted it for a year and a half, and it's been operational now since August last year, and it's doing really well. So yeah, that's basically a little summary of what I do. A little bit, I've missed a few things.
I was learning things there as you were speaking as well, and there was already loads, and then there's all this added on. So let's start with the singing. You've had a number one album in the UAE. Three number one albums in the UAE. There's more. There's more. Talk to me about them.
So the first one was actually not a solo album. It was with a Sony artist at the time, Dion Mavath. It was an electro dance album, and it was different because I think then there was no Spotify, there was no Apple Music, so people actually did go to Virgin and purchase
buy the CD.
Yeah, so when it's number one, it was actually top shelf in the shops. You know, looking back at my photos, it was crazy. So that was encouraging for me to think, okay, maybe I can do something. And then I think it was 3 years later, I wanted to do my own album. So that was Speak, Delete, Repeat. And that was I got signed with Sony.
Right.
And then they released that with me. And that went to number one. And I got so much support from the Middle East, like the amount of plays we got on Angami and Spotify. And it wasn't Spotify, it was mostly Angami, which is like the Arabic app.
Right.
So that was what created that success. And then that led to like doing performances. Like I ended up supporting Elton John. I think I was the first person in the Middle East to support. He didn't normally have support artists. So that happened, and performing for the royal family. Then I took a 10-year break. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I just like, I know this podcast is about like the bits you don't see. Like it, as much as it was a great success, it came with a lot of downfalls as well, emotionally, pressure, criticism, just self-doubt, you know. So I think that 10 years was just me just going, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. I don't think I'm good enough. And then just recently, last year, I thought, right, I'm going to go in, but with something that I'm confident about, that's not going to harm me too much. So I did a classical album, which still makes me so happy today. It's definitely, even though I'm releasing a new album, that album was called A New Key. That went to number one as well, and on iTunes charts in the UAE. It made me think I want to do something else. So I'm doing like a Arabic twist English album, and I've just signed with a record label, Believe, and they've been really supportive. And I'm working on the first single at the moment, and it's hard work. I forgot how hard it is because I was studying, running a business. You know, I've got my personal life, I've got everything, and I could manage it quite okay. But now that I'm fully back into an artist mode, I completely forgot how much effort it takes. So yeah,
that's why you had to turn your break, because it was so much. And that time you've forgotten.
Yeah, and then there was a lot of like personal stuff as well, like that was happening, and it just got too much, and I literally just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't write. I just could not write. I didn't know how to anymore. But now I'm over writing. Like I can't stop writing, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'll talk more about why I couldn't write as well.
Yeah, so let's get into that now. You've obviously spoken about how things were going great, and outwardly it looks great. You know, you've got the number one albums. You're top of the shelves in the shops. What leads to you having a 10-year break?
Anxiety.
Right.
Yeah, I was actually diagnosed with severe anxiety, and that can really ruin your life if you don't take control of it. And it did actually have a big negative effect. And it was a personal relationship I was in, the people I was around, the way I was looking after myself, as in I wasn't. And I ended up going on sertraline as Zoloft for 7 years. And I literally came off it last year.
Right.
I don't think I've spoken about this. No, I've never spoken about me actually being on sertraline. And so that anxiety made me think that I couldn't get on stage. And I remember clients saying, you don't look very happy. Are you okay? And I remember I was in a residency, and they were like, are you okay? And then it was great at the time when I went on the medication, because I ended up losing the anxiety. And it's they were like, what? Oh, you've changed after a month of being on it, or 2 months. They were like, you're looking at your audience again, you're confident. And obviously you cannot drink alcohol at all. And so they thought it was because I wasn't drinking alcohol. This was the effect. But nobody told me the dangers of taking this, as great as it was to get me to where I am now. It numbs feelings. It numbs happiness. I couldn't feel music the same way. And it gave me almost like an indestructibility feeling, like I could do whatever I want. And I think that's really dangerous as well. Like, so not really feeling where I was, I found quite dangerous. So, since I came off the medication, I'm able to feel music again, and I can write, and it makes me so happy. And it took me 2.5 years to come off it, like the safe way, like with doctor supervision and everything. And I've never been happier.
You can see that you're back to loving what you do now.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's been a really long kind of time to get there.
It was. And I'm really happy. There was no other way to do it, to be honest. This was always going to be my path. I had no idea I had an anxiety. I had no idea there was a problem. I had no idea. I just thought, just some people, you just stop writing, and maybe that was my time. And writing again is like the replacement for the socialing. So, but on a higher level, like I can feel everything again. Like music is everything to me again, and it's great. And my environment's changed. My life has changed. I've completely changed as a person as well. And yeah, I would say emotionally and personally, this is probably the strongest I've been, and I'm really happy about that.
Good, yeah, that's amazing. And like outwardly, when you were going through those challenges, like, do you think people noticed? Obviously, people close to you would know, but you're in the public eye. Do you think people would know what was going on in the background?
People in the public eye had absolutely no idea, because I did a couple of podcasts. So like, you would have no idea. You're this confident, but you end up creating this persona that you have to show face. You can't show weakness. People then will think differently, maybe. My friends and family, they were like, what's happening to you? Are you okay? And I was like, I'm fine. And it was difficult, but it's funny how people were like, but why? You were I was literally top of my game. Like, I was indestructible. Like, I was so blessed, and I wish almost like I could go back and utilize that a bit more, because things now, 10 years later, are so different in terms of the market and how to do things. But you just got to trust the process and, go with it. But yeah, it's funny how your nearest and dearest, my best friend, Lenny from Scotland, I think noticed the most. He was very worried about me, and he sees me now. He's like, oh, you're back. It's so nice to hear that.
Good. And like everything that you're doing is so like would create anxiety in people that don't have anxiety. You're in front of cameras, you're singing in front of people, you're performing. Like it must be kind of extra challenging that the things that you're doing create anxiety even when you don't have anxiety.
Yes, and that was even then, when social media didn't have like the stories and all the reels and things like that. Your life is everywhere, and people comment all the time. So I was a little bit lucky then. Imagine if I had that on top of it. I mean, obviously there's always going to be hate and like negative response by some random person. Like, it's fine. But even that would get to me. Like, if I got a comment like that now, I'd just be like, all right then. But yeah, it was difficult. But yeah, I'm out of it now.
And so back then you were like quite a public figure. Like, talk to me about that. What did you have going on?
Well, I was but back then I sound like I'm like this big dinosaur. It wasn't even that long ago. I think because I was female, English singing, and also an instrumentalist, like playing a piano, and also with a background of modelling, it was very unique. So, and I had really good connections with ITP, and I still have to thank them. They put one in every single event, like the nightlife awards, the cater awards, the restaurant awards, like where everyone sees you. So literally everybody couldn't escape me. And TV, yeah, again, it was new. Nobody was really releasing music, like originals music back then. So to be honest, there wasn't crazy amounts of competition. So I think that's an honest response to why I was maybe one of the popular artists. And people didn't really want to invest in their art because it's expensive to do it, especially when you're starting out. And I didn't mind doing it. And it's sometimes that's again something you don't see. You see an artist releasing an album, making music videos and stuff like that. Back then, you're paying for all that yourself.
Yeah.
And it just looks really, really glamorous. It looks glamorous, and that perception. It's just all about marketing.
Yeah.
I was quite good at marketing myself, and that led to being put from most of the awards, most of the big events, support artists, the Formula Ones. You know, I was so lucky. I was headlining all of these events. And yeah, very lucky. And I look back and I go, now I can go, wow, yeah, I did some good stuff. I'm really, really lucky to have that.
And that's like a trend that I've seen. So I've had a professional boxer on, European champion boxer. I've had a European tour winning golfer. And both of them, when you speak to them and now you as well, you realise that actually you're the person paying for everything. You know, I think people see people in the public eye and, you know, doing sport and whatever, and they think, oh, some magic person's paying for them to do that. And no, they're paying for themselves. Yeah, when you make it to the top, you know, 1% or 0.1%, you're getting everything paid for. But up until that stage, you're funding it yourself.
Exactly. It's almost like you're funding a brand and you're funding marketing, which then the rewards did come as well, because they're like, oh, she's got a music video. Okay, she's doing this, she's doing that. They know about it. But nowadays, I think everyone's doing it now because we've got the technology. So what I was doing back then, that was quite rare.
Yeah.
Now,
everyone does it.
It's the norm. You've got CapCut. You don't even need a huge budget to do a music video now. To market something, you can just put it on Instagram. You know, it's completely different. And yeah, I would say that's a huge part.
Interesting. Now, let's go a while back. I wouldn't normally ask this question, but you've got so much going on. Like, where does this stem from? Like, is there something in your childhood that's like, oh, I'm going to go and take on the world at 100 different things? Or like, how have you got to here?
Yeah, I think childhood is a big thing. I had very, very pushy parents. Yeah, because I played piano from the age of 4.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy when I look at 4-year-olds now. I'm just like, and for me, it's like, I always say, oh, I was 4 years old when I played the piano. Then I look at a 4-year-old and going,
can barely even walk or talk.
So I'm always an overachiever. And I just think, yeah, because I think I come from the background where your parents are like supportive, but very pushy. Like even if I was doing really well, it's like, do more.
Yeah.
Do more. Asian. My mom is Asian and Spanish. And it's just like, you need to do better. You need to do better. I'm like, but I am. So that run through. So even with school, I was always like a straight A student. Anything I do. And I think that's also a negative thing, because you take for granted all these beautiful things you've done. Like now I'm just realizing what I did. I had no idea. I was thinking, that wasn't enough. It certainly was. But again, I still want more. Yeah. But there's more for... I love music and I just want to keep doing music. And I get bored really quickly. So I can't really stay still. So that wanting to take on the world, yeah, I think it is from a childhood and from always wanting to do my best. I was always wanting to do my best. And I don't feel good when I haven't tried my hardest. So that's where I think that comes from.
Yeah, that resonates a lot, because I'm the same with business. It's like a lot of people would look at what you've done and be like, that's amazing. And it's like, no, it's not. I need to do that now. And it sounds like you were the exact same. And I don't know, do you think you're still there? Or do you think you're maybe transitioning away and being a little bit more able to kind of look around and go, I'm doing okay here?
I don't actually know, to be honest, because it changes every day. Some days I wake up and go, do you know what? I could just stop. I think I've done enough. But the thing is, I've started something now, and the thing is, when I start something, at least I have to finish it.
Yeah.
So, and whether I continue after that, I think I've done a lot, But because I'm still like young in the business world and maybe not so much in the music, but you know, Hans Zimmer's still going. He's in his 60s, you know. I still think I can still do stuff, but don't put so much pressure on myself because I'm already there. So it should be more, I'm trying to enjoy it and make more fun out of it instead of putting so much pressure. But I think we can always do more. What is enough? How do we define enough? I think when I figured that out, when I feel like it's enough, then I'll probably stop and enjoy myself. But I think because of my age, I don't think it's the right time to stop.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same. That no matter how much I do, I always, even when I've come away from a really long, hard week or month, I think I could have done a little bit more there.
Yeah.
And I could have done something else at the same time. So definitely.
Why do you think that is for you?
Same thing. Overachiever. I think. Like, I don't know. I just. You need to have that, right? You see podcasts, Stephen Bartlett speaks about a lot of like, you just need to do what you love, man. And like, I really like Stephen Bartlett. I think he's great.
I think he's wonderful.
I think he's fantastic.
Yeah.
But he misses out the part where you need to work really hard for really long and be quite sad about it. He just completely misses out that part. I was talking to my best mates about this the other day, and he's like, I might start to do things I enjoy now. Because for 10 years he's just spent time making money. He's now made it and he's doing great. He's like, maybe I don't need to make any more money. Maybe I can just let that run and enjoy life a little bit more.
Yeah, you definitely need a balance. You'll burn out at some point. I think if your work life is stopping you from doing things that you love and you enjoy and what makes you, then there needs to be a reassessment. You need the balance, but that's at a different stage. But you need the hustle part first. Once you've got that, there is a time like, I was just talking about this the other day. When I first came to Dubai, there's things that people just don't know about me. I came in strong. I came in like unstoppable, and I gave this image that I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. I'm living in this environment. I'm driving this kind of car. No, I wasn't. I really wasn't. I was living with my family in Abu Dhabi, and most of the jobs were in Dubai. And a taxi was too expensive. Well, it wasn't like I couldn't afford it. If I was doing it multiple times, I was thinking I have to save money so I can invest. I was taking the bus for 25 dirhams. It took an hour and a half, and it was shared with so many people. And I was walking when there was metro. Where I was living, the metro outside it wasn't ready. I had to walk 40 minutes to get to my performances. Wow. Yeah, so I was thinking I could taxi. It's going to be 60 dirhams. Or I could get it for 10 dirhams if I'm doing it multiple times. And for the big events where I was on these big stages with ITP, I was taking my stupidly heavy pianos. They can tell you this is not a lie. I was screwing in it was like not a keyboard, it was an actual digital piano. Wow. I had to put it in the car. So instead of hiring a piano, which was going to cost X amount, maybe like 4,000 dirhams, I was thinking, I can take that money. I can take that on top of my fee. And I'm going to take all the money. So it was things like, I was like, I'm suffering, covered in bruises. And it's things like this. So when I had my agency, there were these artists that were like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's too much work. It's too far. The taxi's going to be too much. I'm like, take the metro. Take your keyboard, do these things. And they're like, no, I just don't want to do it. So for me, I was thinking, am I crazy or are they lazy? So
bit of both, probably.
Yeah. Well, it worked. So
no, I think you need a bit of crazy. I do. I think you need a bit of crazy, like especially in those early days. Because you could have done what you did and paid a lot more money, and you wouldn't have been able to invest in all the things that you have and now create the things that you have.
Yeah.
So you do need a little bit crazy to deal with those things. And personally, I've probably realised that a little bit later in life. I've always spent the money that I make. Like, I live a great life.
Yeah.
But I've always, up until probably 2 years ago, spent everything that I make. And I'm starting to kind of transition away from that and be like, no, I need to invest a little bit more. I need to do this. I need to do that. And, I don't always need to spend the money that's in my bank account. I can just keep it. And I have moved away from that now.
It's a little bit of a reward for the work that you've done. Like the times where you were like scrimping and then using that to invest. You need, again, this is the balance part where I think, you've got to enjoy it as well. Otherwise, what's the point in us making the money if we can't enjoy it? What's the point in life? So you need to have that balance as well.
So talk to me a little bit more about that period when you were getting buses through and stuff like that. What else did you have going on that people would have just not realised when you're up on stage?
So I was probably going on 4 or 5 hours sleep a night. So I was modelling from shoots start really early. So they could have been 6 or 8 o'clock in Dubai. And they were half-day shoots.
And you're living in Abu Dhabi and doing the shoots in Dubai.
Yeah. So, and then I was finishing maybe afternoon. Then I would be doing award ceremonies. There was the Laureus Awards. So you had like Kevin Spacey, Hugh Grant, all that stuff. That would start at 6, so I'd have to leave around 3. So, and then that didn't finish till like 1 or 2, and I was doing this daily for like a week. So I was exhausted, but again, I don't know how I got the energy. It was just like survival mode. I'm going to do this, and I think I moved apartments maybe like 20 times, because I didn't know. I was just still on a tourist thing. I was not sure what I was doing. If I was staying in Dubai. It was tough. They thought, because I was quite known again because I was modelling, I was campaigning, and I was on these stages. I was in this really, really small, horrible one bedroom apartment in JLT when JLT wasn't even what it is now. I'm talking like, and they just thought, because of my social media, my Facebook was probably the biggest one then. They just saw how much I was doing. I was like, I'm doing at this awards, I've just presented on this, and I was presenting on TV as well. I was doing all these different things, and so they were thinking, oh gosh, she must be living in this huge villa, and I really wasn't. And that private part of my life I always kept quite, I kept it hidden in a way. Not that I was ashamed. It was just like it wasn't consistent with what I was marketing. And it wasn't like I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
It was because I wanted to do something. I think I was saving like 80% of what I was making.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, I had to. I wasn't going out. I wasn't doing anything. I was literally just so focused. So there was a lot of sacrifice. And my job as a musician, because I was working almost every night doing concerts and gigs, my sacrifice was the daytime. I missed the daytime because I wouldn't sleep till 4 because of adrenaline. I wouldn't get up till 4. The gig would start like 7, so you start getting ready. So that was literally my life. My life.
See, that's like my one rock is sleep. Like I fall asleep at 9 p.m. I wake up at 4 or 5, and
Brilliant.
like I have that every day. Like I never change from that. And see, if I even move by a couple of hours, I really, really struggle. So, like, I've got a business partner that has like 5 hours sleep. Of my investor for my big project has even less. And I think, like, how the hell do you function?
No, I've noticed the difference with sleeping early enough.
I'm
much better person.
I'm completely I'm so religious with it.
It's so good. That's a really good thing to have.
Obviously, I've got the Whoop, and that tells me like it's literally if I've fallen asleep after 9, I feel different. If it starts with an 8, even if it's 8:50, I feel better than if it's after 9. Which sounds so sad.
No, it's funny because even I'm not as bad as 9, but I'm like 10:30. I'll start winding down at 9. But I notice if it's like midnight or 1 o'clock. I mean, not that I drink alcohol anymore, but I will feel hungover the next morning because of the misadjustment of my sleep. It's funny how your body just likes the routine, and it loves sleep, and I love sleep when I can get it.
Let's jump back a little bit again. So, Wood Group, you're working in like an engineering company with big old Scottish men. Like,
oh no,
are you modelling at the same time, or is that just the most rogue career change in the world? Like, how does that happen?
Well, I was always doing music because I was always doing that part time. I think the second year of my apprenticeship, I was doing modelling part time, and it was that engineering environment was. It was horrible. I didn't want to be there. I was so young. The modelling thing was doing okay, and I just thought, you know what? Even then, I had enough money to not work, and I stopped working, and I thought I'm going to risk being a model, a musician full time. and it wasn't as lucrative, but it was when I went to Dubai.
Yeah.
The money in Dubai was really good. So I was always part-time modeling, and I told my mentor that I was going to leave to try and become a superstar. And they just wished me all the luck, and they were so supportive, and then I left the country.
Nice. Yeah. So I used to do engineering as well, so I've actually got an engineering degree, electrical engineer.
Same as my buddy.
Oh, really?
Electrical and instrumentation.
Yeah, so I was electrical and electronic. I got a master's degree with distinction, like spent the whole 5 years at uni, and then went into it, and then after like 6 months I was like, I hate this. Like, why have I wasted 5 years of my life? I left school a year early as well, so I went into 5th year, done the hires, and then I actually went back to start 6th year, and I was in it for like a week. I was like, what's the point of this? I got good enough results. I'm just going to go to uni. So I went straight to, went to Heriot-Watt, did electrical engineering. You went straight from 5th year to Heriot-Watt? 5th year, yeah. So I literally... Heriot-Watt, my brother went to Heriot-Watt. Oh, right. Yeah, nice, yeah. So literally next to my house, so that it was easy because I lived nearby. I started 6th year for a week. I was like, there's no point in this. No point. Phoned up Heriot-Watt, went straight there. So I'd literally, like, rather than doing 6th year, done that. Did you do 4 or 5 hours? I passed 3. I think 5. But I failed English. And I failed graphic communications, which ironically my main business now does drawings and reports. This is funny. Yeah, so it's what very ironic. Exactly. What does it matter? I got an A in maths, physics, and technological studies, which are all kind of related, which was really relevant to electrical engineering. Yeah. Went and done that. But yeah, then just hated it. Set up my... I didn't hate it. It's just... I'm not a 9 to 5 guy. Like I wanted more, so I always had something going on the side. And then started my first business, and then I left way too early. Like there was enough money in the bank account and the business account to pay me for a month. I was like, I'm just going to go see what happens. And then rest is history. So very similar that engineering and. Hate 6th year. Don't do 6th year. Anyway, enough about me. Back to you. Sorry. So you've got great to talk, but you're the important one here. Hotel in Koh Samui, boutique hotel. Talk to me more about that. Okay, so me and my partner Mark, we were looking to buy a villa to live in Koh Samui, and it fell through because of the legal paperwork of this property. Was not sound. It took me like 2-3 months reading, and it was just, no matter what we tried to do to try and make it work, it just did not sit well with me. So pulled out of that, and I was pretty confident we were going to get that. So then I found another place literally the next day, which was Villa Nirvana, which has been running as a hotel. So I fell in love with it. So Mark was just walking around imagining all these hypothetical situations. I'm just like, what? Like, my brain doesn't work that way. I need to see like the finished article. So once the walls and everything are in, I can start the design, the aesthetics. He can do construction. So we ended up getting that place, knocked it all to pieces, just had the shell and the structure. That was hard. Like, you're in a different country. I mean, I already had property in a company there before, but not on this kind of scale. And it was a very, very tough project. I can imagine. Living in dust and flying there almost every couple of weeks. I was exhausted, and still doing all of the paperwork, and it was physically exhausting as well, but it definitely paid off. I'm really happy with it, and it's been running since August. It's been fully booked. So it's quite recent that you opened it. Yeah, last one. Oh wow. Yeah. This was literally, I mean, I think we bought it into 2023, and finished literally August. It's still got things to do actually. We're going to upgrade a couple of things, but I had to learn really quickly. I had to learn really quickly how to do things. As well, and I was also doing my master's in law at the same time, as well as writing music, and generally it was
Yeah, that was probably the most stressful year I've had, but it was definitely the most rewarding as well.
And again, that's the same trend of like you're doing 4 things at once. Again, just 4 different things.
I've learned, and I
Uh,
don't think I'm going to do this ever again. Not as in the multiple different things,
yeah.
because right now I'm very open to say I'm completely overloaded, and I'm finding ways to manage it. So something has to go, something I need to drop something. So yeah, I don't know what it's going to be yet, if I can.
Well, that's the hard thing. Once you get so
Yeah.
far, what can you drop?
I don't know. I've committed. When I commit, I have to deliver.
Can't stop.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see.
So talk to me more about the hotel, because when I think boutique hotel, I think 10, 15 rooms. Doesn't look like it's 10, 15 rooms. How big is it? What have you got going on?
It's actually 7 huge rooms.
Oh, wow.
It's
right,
like,
okay. It's a massive building.
it's huge, right? And but the thing is, the whole bottom floor. Well, most of the bottom floor is staff. The staff live in there. So we even upgraded all of their accommodation. We want them happy. It's got a cinema, which is
That's cool.
That could be like 4 bedrooms. It is huge. And then we've got our gym. We've got a spa. 3 dining areas. We've got 6 staff. And our chef is awesome.
Right.
Like, I've been going to Thailand for 10 years, and Jen, she's amazing. Our villa manager, Meow, her name is Meow. And I love cats as well, so it's perfect. She loves cats too. She's our villa manager. She's absolutely excellent. We've got, the bedrooms are huge and they're all unique. And all but, I think, one face the 5 islands.
Nice.
And we've got the sea, the mountains. It's on a really big hill. Every room has been decorated in a unique way. And if you see the walls, it looks like it's been painted, like someone could have just painted, but we got an artist to paint. So he's an actual, paints beautiful pictures. He did the artwork on that. We changed all the tiling. Honestly, we've upgraded all the equipment for the gym. It is beautiful, and there's like hints of copper all the way through the copper.
Nice.
We redid the roofs. I mean, you have a look. It's nirvanasamui.com, and it's wonderful. It's a very zen, peaceful environment, but it's very spacious. And even if the whole place is occupied, you still have your privacy as well. We've got one like bedroom which is detached as well. We call that treetops, and it's like private, and it's got a lovely bath overlooking the jungle and the sea.
Nice.
Yeah.
How much am I paying if I come and stay for a week? What am I paying for a room?
Oh my gosh. It depends on the season. And we don't actually rent it by room. We rent it the whole place.
Whole thing together. Yeah. Oh, right, okay.
So I know
a lot then if I come and book it.
Yeah. So I know off season, lower season, I can give you that would be like $800, and then I think supplementary would be $150 per extra person for extra rooms. This doesn't include food. We do it an all-inclusive package as well. We get all your food. So we've got the chef, we've got everything. We've even got a commercial kitchen, so if you want to cook your own food. So yeah, high season, it's completely different. So the prices will change. And we offer discounts to special people as well. So
nice. I'll ask for that after.
Yeah. Give me some glamping discounts.
Okay,
We'll do an exchange.
Deal. Yeah, I love Koh Samui. I've been a few times before. Not in ages actually. I was just saying though that probably when this podcast going out, I might be in Thailand at the time going to Krabi, which I'm looking forward to. So do you spend a lot of time there?
6 months of the year.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like a reset as well there. So I just like the Thai life. I feel like I change when I go there. I'm very busy, and my head is all it's full work mode. I'm still working, obviously, when I'm in Thailand, but I don't feel like the social media pressure. I kind of switch off. It's more about me, resetting. Yeah, it's really nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, something that you mentioned I want to come back to when we were talking there, the law masters, but you've got a degree in economics as well, and you're doing a doctorate in something else?
Yeah.
Talk to me about all that.
Well, when people ask me this question, I really don't know how to answer it. So, yeah, the masters was ages ago when I was in Scotland. in economics, and I was supposed to do my postgrad, the fast track law degree after that, and I didn't because I ended up going straight into music. So I started that, when was it? 23 November?
Just when you're building a hotel. Just at the same time.
Yes, it was. It was in the middle. What was I thinking? It was because, I just felt like my brain was working a different way and I wanted to study. And, I'm fascinated with law, and I've got a lot of lawyers in my family. My sister's a lawyer, and I hated it when I started it because I was thinking this is harder than what I expected. Because I'm a bookie, I do learn quickly. Academics. One thing I've learned is I can't learn is languages. I'm absolutely terrible. But yeah, I did that, and it was hard at the beginning. Then you get used to the formats, and I came out with a distinction with that, which completely shocked me.
Nice.
I was doing badly at the beginning, then really well in the middle, and then towards the end, really badly again. But overall, I scraped it. I literally scraped it by that 0.5%, where they could have either put me merit or distinction, and they gave me distinction. It was literally by skin of my teeth. Nice. So, I enjoyed learning about law. But I'm sad that I like the practical side of it. The theoretical side is done, and I'm glad I did it because I felt I didn't get the grade I deserved with my first degree.
Right.
Because sadly, my mother passed away in the middle of my finals, and I still got a 2-1. It was great, but I still thought I could have done better. So I think that doing that degree, if I'm being really honest, was for that person then who it was haunting me. I don't know why. As soon as I did this degree, I felt fine. All these nightmares and that side of me just totally went away. So it was a psychological thing as well. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. Was why are you doing a law degree now? But it's like because it sounds like everything you've ever done, you've kind of done perfect at, and that's maybe the one thing that you've not.
Maybe.
And you wanted to go and fix that.
I think you've just put that really well. That's really, really good, actually. Thank you for that. Yeah, so I think I corrected something that I think I always wanted to, and it was bothering me.
Yeah.
And now it's done. And then the doctorate wasn't supposed to start. I've sort of told the story many times until after I finished my master's. But they started me on the course, and I thought, okay, I can do it. Why not? So I started that. I'm halfway through my thesis now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's supposed to be around 50,000. I'm halfway through, and it's 37,000. So hopefully I'll get to finish that. That might be the thing. I might pause. I'm not sure because it's hectic. It's now we're going into like the deep research and the deep stats and the surveys and stuff, and I'm going to need a lot of assistance with that, and I don't know if I can do it. Anyway.
What's the end goal with it? Like, once you get your law degree, what do you want to do after?
Well, I was actually thinking to do something like legal, because I wasn't planning on doing relaunching my music career. I was thinking about developing some apps and also a service in the law industry, which I thought didn't exist.
Right.
It was like almost like pre-law, like without actually having a law degree. And because of artificial intelligence,
I was going to say
you can't really. My first essay, why I almost failed it because I used ChatGPT. Nope. I use a lot of it, but I put in my own case law and statutes. It doesn't really work for law that way. It can help you structure an essay, but sadly you have to do the work yourself. And a lot of it was online presentations and debates, which obviously you can't ChatGPT that. And there was an app thinking, right, how can I make this law degree easier for myself? I'm always thinking of a way out. And we have Lexis, we have Westlaw, which are databases where you get your case law and your statutes and all your information. And I was thinking, if we had an app that could access all of this, and it can be up to date with the statutes, and it can be up to date with the recent laws and things like that. Boom. That was something I wanted to do, but then now I've been distracted and I've got something else. But that's why I started doing that as well. But I don't think my career is in law. very, very happy to still read about it. I still want to be involved. I always ask my sister, what's going on? What's happening? Give me some gossip in the law. And it does make me happy. It's just, I think it's just something that is interesting me. Some people like to watch like a serial, like a reality TV show. For me, my reality TV show is a bit like about case law. I find it interesting.
I like to watch like a lot of crime stuff, and I find all the kind of law in it really
the law
interesting.
stuff is really interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
What else have you got going on? I'm scared to ask. What else have you got going on?
So I'm like doing this album, which is the Arabic Infusion, and so my song is coming out. I think May. May is coming out. It's coming out. Yeah. So we're shooting. We're back in the studio to finish the last parts of the vocal. I'm recording the music video next week. It's called Wizard, and it's my first one, so I'm singing a bit of Arabic in it. And it's very different for me. So it's going to be the first single that I've released where I'm singing in 10 years. Wow. So that's the main thing that's going on in my life. That's quite a lot. I'm also doing Arabic lessons as well, which is fun. I'm getting there. It's a lot of, it's not like law or a doctorate. You can't, because you've got the information. Once you put the information down, it's there. You don't need to keep reciting it every day and using it every day. Yeah. Speaking of different languages, I have respect for anyone who does it, especially in Arabic.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, because it's a different alphabet. It's not like you're starting from the same letters.
Yeah, I'm not even started on the Arabic alphabet yet. I'm just doing it with the Latin letters, and they use 3s, 7s, 8s and stuff because there's not enough letters in English alphabet to cover the sounds and everything. So I think that's the main thing I'm doing right now. I'm potentially thinking about doing another project in Thailand, but I don't like to say.
It's got plenty of time. Why not?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it, but I don't like to say stuff that I'm definitely doing. So yeah, that's I would say the main. Have we got anything else going on? Yeah, apart from the doctor. I mean, I've still got that. Yeah, I mean, I think the toughest parts are through. The most important thing that I'm doing right now is the music, and that's challenging.
Where do we find that when it comes out?
Everywhere. It'll be Spotify, Apple Music, Angami, Deezer, YouTube. Because now the label behind it, it will be everywhere. Yeah, so good. Your main streaming platforms.
Good. Yeah. This might be hard because you've got a million things. What's your proudest moment?
Wow. Does it have to be professional?
That can be anything.
Oh my goodness.
Everyone always tries to keep this one.
If I'm being really, 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 really honest, it is coming out of that 10-year bad part and actually coming off the medication. That was probably the proudest thing, because it wasn't just the medication, it was the journey, the work, the therapy, the changes, and the improvement of life. And that, for me, it sets you up for the rest of your life. It sets you up in your business. Without doing that, I wouldn't be able to study. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to do this law degree. I wouldn't be able to do the doctor. I wouldn't be able to do all of that, because my anxiety would have just crippled me. So I would say, I mean, everything I've done is good. It's really good. But again, it would never have continued. It can't continue if I hadn't resolved that issue. Yeah. And also, talking about it, like being able to talk about it right now, because I'm not ashamed. I think a lot of people go through it and they don't know. Yeah. And the more you talk about it, the more you realize that you're not on your own. And there's quite a few people, especially in this industry, this environment, when you are considered to be successful and at the top. It's a lot of people that need that kind of care and development. I'm sure you've got a lot of people that have been through that.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So I don't feel alone anymore, and I feel good.
That's good, and that to me, from the conversation, it does look like that's your biggest challenge, because that's such a hard thing to like manage and overcome. Whereas like all of your business wins and your life wins, like you're really capable. You'll be able to deal with anything you put your mind to.
Exactly.
But it's a lot harder to manage something like that. That's internal. That's mental. Like how do you manage that? And so I can see why that would be the kind of biggest thing you've overcome and your proudest moment.
It's like the engine of your car. You know, you just, if you don't look after it, nothing will work.
Yeah.
You can't move forward.
That's a good analogy. I like that.
I just made that up just there.
That's a good one. That's a very good one. Right, bits you don't see. So we spoke about some stuff already.
Yes.
What are some of the bits that you don't see that we've not already spoken about so far?
Well, we've mentioned a few. So the bits you don't see, people just think, oh, you just had it easy. Because you just post your successes. You post
the top 1%.
Yeah, you only post what you want people to see.
Yeah.
So people who think they see my life and think they know me, you only know what I'm telling you and what I want you to know.
Yeah.
You've not seen the multiple rejections, the multiple hundreds and thousands of failures, the losses in investments. Like you can sometimes lose. You know, you think you're doing something, you don't win them all.
Yeah.
But when you get the wins that you do, and you push those, that's what you don't see. What you don't see are the tears, the tears, and how much pressure and the public perception, especially when it came to my modeling and when it came to my music, how much it can affect your well-being and how hard that can be. And what else don't you see is like how different your life is to everybody else's. Like sometimes I think, oh, I really wish that I could go out for dinner. Like I wasn't going out for dinner or lunch because that part of my day was gone. You know, that was me recovering, resting. I was thinking during COVID, these were the first times where, because no one was singing before me, the first times I experienced dinner in Dubai, like in a long time.
Wow.
I was thinking, it's a sacrifice you don't see. You see me at events, you see me at all these things, but you don't really know the true story. It looks glamorous. The bit you don't see is the unglamorous parts, I would say. And they are hard, but they're very important to your journey. Like,
but you're not going to succeed at the things that you're trying to do without them.
No, you can't. And that's the thing. People might think, oh, I'm failing. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen if you stop. If you just keep going or find alternative ways to get there. And what I don't see also is how important your relationships are with people. I would not be where I am today without the help of some of my amazing clients that took risks to put me in events I wasn't ready for, make me present on TV that I had no experience for. They don't like that part. They don't see is important. Like, and grasp onto and always be humble and thank these people, because honestly, without these people trusting in me and believing in me, when I didn't believe in myself already. And that's another thing they don't see is my confidence.
Yeah.
It's funny, people are like, you are so confident, you are so this, you've got all the success, you've got all this. I'm like, yeah, but you haven't seen the crap that I've been through, like what I had to get, and that side of me, you have to have that persona to show, to mask almost all the failures and mask all the pain and just show the good sides. And I think that was quite hard for me. Yeah.
So that's what I've realised from speaking to a lot of people and myself as well, is everyone has that self-doubt.
Yeah.
The difference is people that ignore it and just take the action anyway versus the people that let the self-doubt take over them and then they never actually do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Like, what's going through your head? So you spoke about some of the big events and TV stuff that you did that you weren't ready for.
Yeah.
5 minutes before you were going on stage, what were you thinking? What's going through your head?
She's got to give it everything. Because at least, if it didn't go well, at least you tried, And sometimes...
And do you think it's going to go well?
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It depends. Some didn't go well. you know, and these are the things I wouldn't post as well. I just did a gig and it was great. Thank you for having me. I wouldn't ever post a video of it because I was like, no. And there are ones I only posted the ones that were great. So before going on, what did I used to do? I just used to go, you know, you've got one chance at this and you've got to go for it. And most of the times it did go really well. More so these days, now that I'm more level-headed, I'm confident I'm going to give the best job now because I feel more overall rounded and more put together. Which it's a shame because, like I said, I wish I could have myself now, 15 years, like 2015, boom, indestructible. Yeah. But again, would that have worked out for my personal life?
Probably not.
See, I think, you know, this is another thing that the people that don't see is the pressures I had as a woman. You know, in not so many words, you know, I could have got ahead really quickly if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I could have put hot pants on and done the whole dancey thing and things. And this was offered to me. And I never took this up. And also with these celebrities that you would always meet, they would always want to date you. And they would always want, like, I'm not going to mention the big names, but they
Go
were
on,
like,
give us some of them.
Oh, I can't. I can't. No, I can't. But they would try and take me out for dinner. They would try and say, look, we could do... I'm talking like big American artists. Like,
I'm going to ask you after.
You can, yeah. And they were like, oh, we'll do a song together. We'll do this. Just come out afterwards. And I was thinking, my cat's at home. And I also think my career could have been possibly different, possibly not, if I was rubbing shoulders with these people. But I always felt like intentions and authenticity wasn't there.
Yeah. Is it hard to get away from that in the industry?
What do you mean?
Like, kind of, as a woman, like, do a lot of people get themselves ahead in ways like you're talking about?
Can't really comment, but some do.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Kim Kardashian. You know, so it can be. And I think because I wasn't a party girl, like I think not being social, I could have rubbed shoulders, but that's just not being true to myself. Like my music reflects what I am as a person. It's not like, boom, boom. It is like chilled. I am self-professed. Like I don't really want to post a lot of things on my social media. I'd rather it was about music. I don't want funny TikTok videos. I've got a TikTok account now. Sorry, but
I struggle with TikTok. I don't have a clue.
I think I'm just too old for it.
I'm too old for TikTok.
You're
31.
Yeah, we're too old for this. This is like, and this would be just off-brand. So it has to be my way, in a way, staying true, but without losing myself. So I think. My career could have been different if I was a bit more adventurous, I think. But I don't think I would have felt good about myself. I don't think that was ever going to be the way for me. I didn't rub shoulders with the A-list celebs.
Good.
Not my thing. Sorry.
So, from the outside looking in, your life is like a young girl's dream. Like, modelling, singing, on stage, TV, all that. Like, is it all it's made up to be?
Yes and no. Yes, because I love my job. I love singing. I love what I've done, and it is what people generally want to do. And modelling, when I was modelling, was very different. Now it's more about Instagram modelling things, which the Instagram modelling and the pressures of the social media on appearances on the youth today, I don't agree with at all. And I wish that I'm very pro education in a way, obviously, but I'm really upset about what we don't get taught in school, like nutrition.
Could not agree more. Like,
how is Pythagoras gonna
I've said
help
this
me?
Already on the podcast.
How is Pythagoras gonna help me get through my life? Like, and I think a lot of the problems with girls today, I mean, forgive me if I'm speaking out of turn, It's because we are not educated enough on what food does. I had such a negative relationship with food, especially when I was modeling, especially when I was 13. I had an eating disorder at the age of 13. And I know lots of young girls and boys that are dealing with these eating disorders. And there is the element of the social media pressure, but there's also a lack of information. Tell children how to eat. Show them what nutrition can do for you. If you eat a lot in the right way, you can actually lose weight and gain muscle. This is one thing I never knew about until maybe recently, 10 years or something. And I think if I had this information, I would have never had my eating disorder. And this eating disorder lasted a very, very, very long time. It stayed. Even though I'm over it, it's still there.
Yeah.
They say it's like an addict. It's you get clean, you get sober, or whatever. But there's always that little voice in your head. That voice is almost gone because I train and I eat well. I eat, very balanced. I eat a lot of chocolate and stuff like that. But I understand the science of the body. You understand the science of the food. This needs to be taught in school. And also, a lot of anxiety, once you leave school, is about budgeting and how you're going to survive. I know a lot of people are so scared, to do it. Teach this in school.
100%.
Please.
That was going to be the example I gave. Why do they not teach you about finances in school?
It's so important. Health, mental health is very important. And how to manage yourself in the real world. And I think education needs to change now because a lot of it can be now replaced with AI.
Yeah.
I feel bad for this generation that a lot of their jobs you'll be able to do most of it. So my friend's a process engineer, chemical engineer.
Right.
She's like, I've been working on this formula. This was a year or something ago. She was trying to figure out a formula. It's like, give me the formula. I put it in ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And it gave her the answer. She was like, you're absolutely joking me. She's got 6 degrees or something. She's next level genius.
More degrees than you?
Yeah, of course. It's not difficult. So she's good. And then there's things like maths. There's things like languages are different, actually. You also need your medicine and law. It's like 50-50. You still need your lawyers, and the information is not there yet on AI. Believe me, I tried. And business degrees.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm doing a doctorate in business. I'm telling you, it's you can use a lot of artificial intelligence. So a lot of the thesis now, mine is actually also about artificial intelligence. That's going to be replaced. So what education needs to now do is work on how you can use AI or how you can start thinking outside the box now. You need to start thinking of a new world.
Yeah.
Because when they're graduating, even if they've started a degree 2 years ago, by the time they come out, the world has changed a lot. And I know I've invested in a couple of artificial intelligence companies. I've seen what is going to happen. And it is frightening in a good way, but in a bad way. And I'm almost feeling sorry for these institutions that are almost like robots.
Yeah.
You're doing it almost, it's a business at the end of the day. Education, it's all about business. And what are these people going to do? How are they going to find a job when that industry, never mind all of that job, that industry has been not wiped out, but has mostly been dominated by artificial intelligence, who can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And a human can't do that, and is more prone to make more mistakes than artificial intelligence. So it's a frightening world. So,
and I think that in Dubai and Abu Dhabi and places like this, is probably they'll be able to get with it a lot quicker. But see, like the UK, I just look at the UK and think they still teach the same things that they would have taught me in school now, you in school now, and beyond. It's scary.
It is very frightening, and I believe that. We're also looking at the people that are coming out this generations with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Do they actually know what they've learned? These are the next generation of leaders. How much do they actually know?
Yeah.
Right? How much has been helped? How much has actually been monitored? And I'm dubious to the fact that you've got your institutions like your Oxford and your Cambridge and your what's the one? St Andrews. You've got all these really great places. And there are certain degrees, I'm sure that you have to do a lot in person, you have to do these things, but the majority of it can be done with AI. And so the question is, how do we teach them to study? Because when we were studying, we had to read a book, highlight it, everything. And I love AI, don't get me wrong, I love it. But in the educational sense, I'm a bit worried.
Yeah. I think they should teach AI in school. I think they should teach social media in school. That's another big one that obviously spoke about. Yeah.
It is part of marketing. It should be, I don't know if it is in the business. It's not, doctorate's different. I don't know what it is for a bachelor's, but yeah, it needs to be taught. But again, once they make this book in a year, it's obsolete in 2 months. Development is so fast. Like, I think we don't know how to teach people anymore. It's almost impossible unless it's your traditional, like your doctor. That's not gonna be an actual medical doctor, not a doctor. You know, all this stuff. The body's still the body. You still need to learn, but you can use technology to maybe enhance some things. But at the end of the day, the root knowledge is the same. Other things, businesses aren't the same as business. So a business degree for me now is obsolete.
Yeah. You learn more in 3 months running a business than you will in
100%.
3 years of a degree in it.
100%.
Right, let's double back a bit, because something you mentioned that I want to find out a bit more about. You mentioned you had an eating disorder.
Yes.
What was going on there?
I will say this, that I've never discussed this in an interview before.
Right.
There was an article published, I think 2012, which is very difficult to find, and I've done that on purpose. What was going on there? Well, what I thought it was about when I was going through it is actually not what it was about. But at the time, you just wanted to be super, super skinny. I started modelling at 13.
Yeah.
Right?
And that was probably the generation when it was like your Kate Mosses and stuff that are like bones.
But like the whole being super stick thin, and I didn't know how to do it. Didn't know how to lose weight without starving myself or like I was bulimic. For a very long time, the majority of my life, sadly.
Wow.
Yeah. So, with more education and awareness, I realized that it wasn't actually about the food. It was more about the control and my environment and my anxiety eating. So I would overeat and I'd be like, oh God, instead of running it off or something like that. You know, I just didn't know what to do. And it is really an illness. And, I was very clever. You become a professional liar. When about that, you find all kinds of ways to hide it. You're so ashamed. And yes, it was for me definitely a lack of knowledge of nutrition and a very negative relationship with food. Food was just the enemy. Don't eat. And I think at that time, people were like, if you want to lose weight, you just don't eat. Like food now, we've got more information and more positive like reinforcements to teach us about food. And the body image now has completely changed. Like people is all about fitness and, you know, having these nice like toned legs and things like that, which that didn't exist. Women were just skinny and they were never really muscly. So the pressure was on, and I can understand what a therapist said. It's like being compared to a heroin addict.
Well, that's what it sounds like,
Yeah, which I was like, oh, okay. It's that hard to come out. So I see, this is why my success is like, it's coming out of these things. If you're comparing it to a heroin addict, you know, that's pretty tough. And my body now, even though I eat chocolate and Spanish ham and I eat bread, and I eat all kinds of things now, from when I did keto 3 years ago, I'm actually exactly the same size, if not lighter, and I'm the same weight and size as I was when I was a model.
Wow.
But the difference, like from what I was doing to what I'm doing now, I have a great life. I have a great relationship with food. And reformer Pilates, I can't say enough. It's the best thing. And getting just moving. So when you're a bit anxious and you're not feeling great, I was a bit static, you know. So got all this energy now. So yeah, it was very tough, and it was tough for my family.
Yeah,
really tough. And it was tough for people around me who actually secretly knew, but no one knows. When you've got this disorder, the more people confront you about it, the more you're going to lie, the more you're going to push people away. So it's very difficult, and you'll find all ways to hide it and mask it. And I thought I did a good job, but yeah. Anyway, I got out of it. So.
How did you get out of it?
Because I have peaks and troughs. Like, I would stop and then it would come back when I was actually sad. So it made me think it is more about I just got happy. So also when I went on sertraline,
Yeah.
it actually stopped any eating, like, abnormalities. So that came together, even though I was mostly okay, but I always had moments. So that having the sertraline helped, but it's exercise and information, just study and finding more about how it was finding these things on social media and reading, like, you can actually, when someone says, oh, you can lose weight by eating more, I'm like, music to my ears, because I love food, but I hate food at the same time. So it was more about definitely seeing when I was exercising and eating a lot and still losing weight. Proof is in the pudding, proof is in the science. So it wasn't until I saw that you can actually do something without harming your body, and it was quite extreme, how extreme I took it. And that I've gone to the extreme of, like, if I want to eat this, but I don't even think like that now. I'm just like, I know my body now, and I know what to do, and I don't think about it. And I don't care if I put on 2 kgs, because I know I can lose it. And so it's good. It's just having a healthy relationship, and I had to see therapy about it. So that's probably how I came out of it.
Well done.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
Okay, a bit more about music. So, making an album, what is that like? That seems like it'll be a lot of work.
Yes, but it depends what kind of album, and it depends which decade you release it. So the first one with the collaboration that I did with Dion Melbath, that wasn't so bad. I just had to do the vocals. He did all the work. He did all the marketing. I was really spoiled. Speak, Delete, Repeat. That was hard, expensive. But again, I got support. So that took about 6 months. But my classical album took me 3 months. The most recent one, A New Key. And it was the most enjoyable process, because the how I did it was I wrote down my ideas, played them through, sent them to my team. My team were probably the reason why I could do the album, because for me, I think they did most of the work. Right. They brought my creations to life. It's like Hans Zimmer. He does, not that I'm ever comparing myself to his level. Okay, he writes something and he sends it to his team, and then it comes back, and then we'll tweak it. So, and then once that happens, you put it through a distribution channel, and then that distribution channel puts it out to the world, and that's it. This next album that I'm doing is to answer your question, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the first track has been a lot of work, so it's taken the same amount of time how to do a whole album just of instrumental music to do one song.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because it's new. It's new, and it's vocals. Vocals for me take ages. So, and now I've got a record label, so they'll be taking the song and they'll be putting it out there. So it's mostly about me having an idea, me getting the lyric. I write it on the piano. I send it to Ian Tokel, my instrumentalist, cinematic person, genius guru. He does something with it, and he's actually produced this track. I normally have a different producer. And I go to a studio, record the vocals, record the video, do a bit of marketing. Bosh.
So it's a little bit easier maybe than some of the other ones you've maybe done.
Yeah, I think the easiest one I did, not easy, it was still hard, but it's the classical album. I could churn one of those out every 2 months. It's just easier.
It sounds like you enjoy it more as well.
I do. I like creating music. I like singing. People love my voice. They say I have a nice voice. But when I listen back to my voice, I'm like, it's not good enough. It's not good. But when I play...
Same thing as before with everything we spoke about.
When it's piano, I don't question it. I'm just like, that's awesome. Let's just go. Let's go. But for the voice, I'm a bit more critical. But I think it's almost at a level that I'm good with. And let's see. We will see.
Nice. Yeah. Any more bits you don't see?
The bits they don't see. In terms of being a musician, they... Obviously, I have my set prides. And this goes to any musician as well. They'll try and haggle you down. And they're like, Yes, but it's only 45 minutes or it's only an hour. But what they don't see are the years of practice, the years of investment, the investment in your equipment. And you're not just paying for that person for that 45 minutes. You're paying for all of the training and all of the, I call it, it's all about the D's. It's all about the dedication, drive, and discipline to get to that level. You're paying for that professional finished article. It's like you're not paying. You're almost paying for the whole journey of that person. So, and the more you try and drive down that price, it's going to make me not want to do your gig anymore. So what you don't see, what people don't see with the musicians is, and what we do in a job in music is, you don't understand how long it takes to learn a scale. You don't understand how long it took me to play one piece of music. 6 months as a child, 6 months for one classical piece, and everything that comes with it. So next time you're trying to drive anybody, not just the music, you're questioning their price, and they come back with an answer like that, you know, that's something that you haven't thought about, something you haven't seen before. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Right, if you could go right back to the start and you could either do everything that you've done again, you choose that same route, or you go and choose a different route, what would you do?
Ooh. I would do a mixture of both. I would still choose to be a musician. I would still choose to do what I've done. However, I would have definitely tried to reassess nutrition, food, people, mental health. Definitely not drank alcohol, and I would have done everything again, but slightly different.
Right.
You know, I would, like I said throughout this, I would love to take who I am now and put it back where I was then. But again, is that a correct answer? Because, you know,
that's what almost everyone says. So
who knows? Because back then I was thinking it's never going to work. It's never going to work. So I'm at that stage now. I'm like, is this going to work? You know, if it doesn't, I've tried and I've had made something great for myself. And if it does, great. And if it doesn't initially at the beginning, who's to say it won't in like a couple of years' time? But music can work that way. Someone can release a track and it becomes big, you know, a few years. So I'm going to trust the process, but that would be my truthful answer.
Nice. Right, where do people keep up to date with you?
Oh, well, it's giving my age away. I'm mostly on Instagram, so it will be Instagram.com. Instagram.com/Clarita de Quiroz. The same thing for TikTok, same thing for Facebook. And I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, everything. Just search Clarita de Quiroz. I'm sure my name will be printed somewhere because it's not the easiest name, I know.
No.
Yeah, so, but mostly Instagram. That's where I'll be. I'll try to be better with my TikTok.
Good. Thank you very much, Clarita. It's been great. And thank you, everyone at home, for listening. We've had somebody great on this time. If you could please like, share, comment, and hopefully we can get on somebody just as great next time. Thank you.